Good morning, Franklin family, and welcome to another round of Wake Up with Coach, day 33. And I am excited to spend just a couple of minutes again with you today and share a couple of thoughts I've had about me, the interaction that you and I've had, experiences of life, all that type of. Back when I was in high school, it was my senior year, and I was the quarterback on the football team. I was the only quarterback. I had worked really hard for years and years and years, and this is finally my time to really shine. And so we were in our second game in my high school senior season, and we were really fighting hard and trying to get downfield, and we were behind by like 3 touchdowns and so I took it upon myself to get really excited and energized and go after this, and I did, and we did. We started inching away piece by piece at that score. We got 1 touchdown, and then we got another touchdown, and we got that 3rd touchdown. I can remember throwing that when I was just about to get sacked, and I threw that ball really hard. My friend caught it, and he skidded underneath this guy who was going to tackle him, and he ran really far for a touchdown. And it was 3 seconds left in the game. We were down by 1 point, and my coach pulls me over to the sideline, and he says, "Okay, Daryl, what are we gonna do?" And I was like, "Sir, I don't know. We kick that field goal and we can get a tied game." He says, "Yeah, but you guys have worked so hard. I hate to leave you with just a tight game." I said, "Okay, let's go for it." He says, "All right, I got a good play." And he told me this play, and I ran back in, and I grabbed all the guys in the huddle, and I told them what we were gonna do, and they were really excited. And we got up to the line of scrimmage, and we literally were like, because we just got the touchdown, we're like 3 yards. 3 yards. That's like, okay, that's like 6 feet. It's me in height. That's as far as I had to go to get up the point after, which is a 2 points, and we would have won the game. Well, as I got really excited, everybody got quiet. The stands got really quiet around us. And I came up right underneath the center, and I called cadence, blue 18, set, hike. And I can remember getting the ball. The snap was perfect. And I was supposed to turn around, fake a handoff, and then throw over to the corner, which I was excited about. But the problem is, for some reason, I didn't move my feet. I don't know if it was because it didn't go as fast or something, but I pulled back my first foot, but my other foot did not move as fast. And that center, who is just a phenomenal center, steps back. Because his job is to drive that line forward. And he stepped right on my foot. Now this was not his fault. He's doing what he normally did. This was my fault. And he stepped right on my foot. So when I turned to pretend to make that handoff, my foot got caught and I fell straight to the ground. That fast. And I remember the silence from the audience. How quiet it was. And then the disappointment. And the time ran out. We were unable to catch a win or a tie. And I remember going home feeling absolutely rejected, and I was the worst person in the world. And I was mad, I was angry at myself, and I was really frustrated. And I remember getting up the next morning and reading the newspaper that says, "Quarterback loses football game, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, I'm all over the papers now, it's terrible. For the next week of practice, I would come home and I would just be moody and grumpy, and I didn't want to go to practice and all the other type of stuff. And every day I'd come home, my dad would say this to me: "Why do you keep going back?" At first I thought that was kind of harsh, because it was like, oh my goodness, I mean, Dad, this is football, I've been doing it forever, I gotta keep going back. By about the 4th or 5th time he said that, 4th, 5th day that I had come back, he said, "Daryl, why do you keep going back?" And I looked at him and said, "Dad, I gotta keep going back, because I'm a football player. We gotta toughen it up. We gotta do it. I just gotta play this game. I'm a football player." And my dad looked at me and he said, "No, you're not." I was like, ouch, Dad, that's terrible. Why would you say that? And then my dad said, "You are Daryl. You are not football." And then I realized what my dad was trying to teach me. See, I had crushed my confidence in myself. I was scared to go back and play because of the pressure and hardships and things like that. And the truth of the matter is, I loved the game of football. That's why I was playing. But football didn't define me. It wasn't who I was. We can apply this to our own lives. We make mistakes. That doesn't make us bad people. We sometimes fail tests. That doesn't make us, not smart. Self-confidence is one of the keys to our enjoyment of life, to our handling pressure and depression and facing fears and all that type of stuff. There are 4 steps to building self-confidence, and I want you guys to understand they're really simple, but you need to know them. Okay? Number 1. The first one is increase. That means get bigger, better, faster, stronger. Increase our trust in ourselves. As we talked before, remember, our value as an individual is not based upon whether we can throw a football or get good grades or not make any mistakes or be as perfect as we possibly can. Our value never changes. We are who we are. And we were made that way for a reason. Now, if we trust in that and hold true to that, then the things that happen in our lives don't define us. They don't make my entire life. I'm a football player. The answer is no. So first one is increase that idea, that knowledge that my value does not change just because I do bad on a test. It seems to be the negatives that really hurt our confidence, by the way. Things that may not go the way we want them to go. The cool part is we go on to step number 2. Step number 2 is increase love. Love is really, really cool. Now let's go back to that football experience. When you increase love, you're trying to find ways to help other people. Now, I was so wrapped up in myself in that football experience of stepping back and falling down and losing the game and being blah, 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 blah. When my dad finally helped me remember, hey, that's not me. I'm Daryl. I love this game. Then it started to dawn on me. I love this game. Maybe I'm not the only one who's struggling with that. And the answer is, I wasn't. That great center that I played with, and he and I had a nice chat about it. And I told him that was all my fault. It was my foot that should have been there, and he was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. And it's okay. That's what increasing love is all about. You start thinking about other people. You start thinking about ways to fix, help, adjust, show up with sympathy, show up with kindness, show up with all those wonderful traits and feelings and emotions that are all wrapped up in building good and being a good friend. Other people. Then we increase, number 3, responsibility. What's responsibility? Responsibility is the things we take upon ourselves or the things we're asked to do, required to do, that is of great importance. It's the things that we commit to, things that we want to do, the things that we are willing to sacrifice for, willing to do. And it makes us accountable for them. Showing up for my friend, that wonderful center. Yeah, it was me. I left the foot there. I took responsibility. It's okay. I can make mistakes. Remember, my trust is already up. I'm willing to show up for other people, and now I can take that responsibility. And last but not least, number 4, increase response ability. That means we increase the amount and the ability, how fast we are to handle these situations. Well, guess what? That wasn't the only game I lost my senior year. I lost every single football game my senior year. But you know what increased? It was amazing. Every time something would go wrong in that game or in that aspect or something like that, it was a lot easier for me to turn to the next person and go, you know what? Totally get it. Brush it off, man. Not a problem. You'll catch the next one. You'll get that next block. You're going to run this one. And I got faster and faster and faster at doing it. And I got quicker at making friends. At building good relationships. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, what about Daryl and his football career and all that? He didn't win a single game, that type of stuff. Did I leave my senior year feeling kind of bad about myself? Yeah. I had won it. I had expectations that were a lot higher. But remember, I learned a valuable lesson. I could trust that my value doesn't change. And it was my father who, once again, just a few months later, after the football season was done, I went off to a junior college to go to school. And while I was getting my books and getting situated, they drove me clear out to Idaho to go to this school. And I got in my room, I got situated and everything else. As I was walking out, my mom and dad were there with me, and we looked over to the football field right next to us. And out there was this football team. And my dad looked at me and says, "You gonna go?" I was like, "No, I gave football a good try. I didn't do so well, but that's okay. I'm all right with it." He says, "No, I think you better go out there. You can play football." I said, "Okay." And I walked out to that football field, and as I walked down the field, the coach looked at me, had me throw a couple of passes, and said, "Go get suited up." I was even able to win a couple championships. One at a Division I school in football, and I got a ring and all sorts of things for it. It's really funny just how a bunch of simple words, understanding confidence in ourselves, putting trust in ourselves, can have a lasting and eternal perspective on who we are. The reason I share that with you is because I want you guys to see it. I get to see it every day at school with you. I see each and every one of us fighting, even me, with confidence. Did I do this right? Did I do that right? Have I gone this way? Have I done that? And the idea is we need to remember those simple 4 steps, and we need to continue to build our confidence. Just because you come in my office doesn't make you bad. Just because you're tallest doesn't make you the best sports person. Just because you're the fastest doesn't make you the quick. Just because you're the smartest doesn't make... Starting to catch on? Now the cool thing about this is I see it happen all the time. But I also see people working on confidence all the time. I've seen young kids work on math and be struggling with it and hate it, and then turn around after they've struggled with it and finally learned it and help other people, teach other people. And then they get the fun of doing that and they want to go do it some more. I'm sure each one of you have had that happen sometime in your life with some aspect, something you've been... It's all what self-confidence is about, guys. 4 simple steps. All right, I had a great time again this morning. Sure appreciate you spending just a few minutes with me. We'll see you tomorrow.